Take a look at your grocery receipt this week. Really look at it. I'd bet you good money there's $20, $30 on there that you paid for water, air, and about 30 seconds of somebody else's labor. Not food, convenience. And not even real convenience most of the time, the kind that saves you a minute and costs you triple. I've run this house on next to nothing for a long time, and I've learned the grocery store is arranged to make you feel like you can't do simple things yourself. You can. Most of them take less time than finding your car in the parking lot. So today I'm counting down 12 things I stopped buying years ago, what I do instead, and honestly what the swap won't do, because I'm not going to oversell you. Number 1 is the worst offender in the whole store, and it's probably in your cart right now. Let's go. Number 12, instant oatmeal packets, the little flavored envelopes. You're paying $4 for 8 breakfasts when the big canister of plain oats costs about the same and feeds you for a month. Same oat. They just ground it finer, added a spoonful of sugar and some flavoring powder, and put it in an envelope. Here's the thing. You can make your own packets. Sunday afternoon, 10 minutes. Scoop of oats into little bags or jars, pinch of brown sugar, shake of cinnamon, few raisins if you like. Done. Kids can grab them, same as the store ones. You just cut your breakfast bill by 2/3 and you know exactly what's in it. Number 11, baby carrots. I'll let you in on something. There's no such thing as a baby carrot. Those are big carrots, whittled down by a machine, and you pay extra per pound for what got shaved off. You're paying more money for less carrot. Buy whole carrots, peel them, cut them into sticks, keep them in a jar of water in the fridge. They stay crisp for a week that way, crisper than the bagged ones, actually. Now, if the bag is the only way your grandkids will eat a vegetable, fine. I'm not going to fight you on it. But know what you're paying for. You're paying for the whittling. Number 10, cooking spray. That little can is mostly propellant and a bit of oil, and it costs $4 or $5 for a few ounces. Meanwhile, you've got a whole bottle of oil in the cupboard. Buy a refillable pump sprayer one time, $8 or $9, and fill it with your own oil. Pump it up, spray your pans, done. It pays for itself in a couple of refills, and it works for the rest of your life. And for baking pans, honestly, a bit of butter on a scrap of the wrapper does the job like it always has. They sell a special baking spray for that too. Don't bother. Number 9, powdered sugar. This one surprises people. Powdered sugar is regular sugar ground fine. That's it. That's the whole product. If you've got a blender, you've got a powdered sugar factory. Cup of granulated sugar, blend it a minute or two until it's fine and fluffy. If you're storing it a while, add a teaspoon of cornstarch so it doesn't clump. That's what the factory does too. I stopped buying the bags years ago, and the only difference I've ever noticed is the price. Same trick works for superfine sugar, which they charge even more for. 10 seconds of blending. They'd rather you didn't know that. By the way, little swaps like these, I've got a whole book of them. Every method I use to run this house for less, all written down in one place. It's on my website, links right below the video. Go grab it if you want it. I won't bring it up again. Number 8, microwave popcorn. Those flat bags are a few pennies of corn dressed up in chemicals and charged at $1 a bag. A jar of plain popcorn kernels costs about $2 and pops for weeks. Here's the trick most people were never told. Quarter cup of kernels in a plain brown paper lunch bag, fold the top over twice, microwave it 2 or 3 minutes until the popping slows down. That's it. It's the same machine doing the same job. Then you butter and salt it yourself, which I'll just say it tastes better than whatever that yellow powder is. Pennies a bowl. And you already own the microwave. Number 7, hummus. Those little tubs run $4, $5, and they're gone in a sitting. The main ingredient is chickpeas. A can of chickpeas costs about $1. Dump the can in the blender with a spoonful of tahini, squeeze of lemon, garlic clove, glug of olive oil, salt, blend. You just made twice as much for 1/3 of the price. Now, honest word, you do need that jar of tahini, and it'll sting a little at the register, maybe $8. But one jar makes a dozen batches, so it works out to pennies a tub. Buy it once and stop buying the little containers forever. Number 6, stew meat. Now we're getting into the meat counter where the real money hides. Those tubs of pre-cut stew meat, look at the price per pound sometime, then look at a chuck roast 2 feet away. The stew meat usually costs $1 or $2 more per pound. For what? Somebody cubed it. And here's the part they don't advertise. You don't know what that stew meat is. It's trimmings. Odd ends from different cuts. So the pieces cook unevenly, some tender, some like shoe leather in the same pot. A chuck roast, you can see what you're buying, and cubing it yourself takes 5 minutes with a sharp knife. Same stew. Better stew, actually. Less money. All right, we're halfway. 6 down, 6 to go, and the back half is where the money really is, including the yogurt aisle, which I have some feelings about, and that number 1 at the meat counter I promised you. Stay with me. Number 5, oat milk. If your family drinks the carton stuff, look at what's in it. Oats and water, mostly water, $4 or $5 a carton. You can make it for about a quarter. Half cup of oats, 4 cups of cold water, pinch of salt, blend it about 30 seconds no longer, or it goes slimy and strain it through a thin dish towel. That's oat milk. Splash of vanilla if you like it, sweet. Now the honest part, because I won't pretend. The homemade won't froth up fancy for coffee, the way the barista cartons do. They add oil and other things for that. And don't cook with it over heat. It thickens up strange. For cereal, for baking, for drinking cold, it's the same thing, and you paid for oats instead of shipped water. Number 4, bottled cold brew coffee, $4 a bottle. Some of you are buying one every day. That's over $100 a month for coffee and water, which are 2 things already sitting in your kitchen. Cold brew is the laziest thing you will ever make. Coarse ground coffee in a jar, cover it with cold water, lid on, leave it on the counter overnight. In the morning, strain it. That's the whole method. It keeps in the fridge a week, and it comes out smooth. That low-acid taste they charge extra for is just what happens when you brew slow and cold. The bottle companies didn't invent anything. They put patience in a bottle and priced it like it was rare. Number 3, pickles. A jar of decent pickles is pushing $5, $6 now, and pickles are cucumbers sitting in salty vinegar. That is not a $5 problem. Refrigerator pickles. Cut up cucumbers, pack them in a jar with some dill and a couple garlic cloves. Heat up equal parts vinegar and water with a good spoonful of salt. Pour it over, lid on, into the fridge. In 2 or 3 days, you've got pickles. And in a week, you've got great pickles. Works on onions, green beans, carrots too. One honest note, these live in the fridge. This isn't canning, that's a different skill with its own rules, and I'm not teaching it in 2 sentences. Fridge pickles keep about a month. Ours have never lasted that long. Number 2, flavored yogurt cups. This one's for the families, because it adds up fast. Those little cups run $1, $1.50 each. A big tub of plain yogurt costs $4 and holds 6-7 servings. Same yogurt. The difference is a spoonful of jam and a cute container. So buy the big tub of plain and stir in your own spoonful of jam or honey or a mashed banana. It takes 10 seconds, and here's the part that matters. You control the sugar. Some of those fruit cups carry as much sugar as dessert, and they're sold to you as health food. Stir it yourself and you'll use half and never notice. If you need it portable for lunchboxes, a small jar with a lid does exactly what the cup does. The cup was never the valuable part. And number 1, pre-marinated meat. This is the one that actually bothers me. Those trays at the meat counter, the teriyaki chicken, the herb-crusted pork, the fajita-seasoned whatever swimming in sauce, priced by the pound at a premium. Think about what's happening there. First, marinade is heavy. It's mostly water, sugar, and salt. And you are paying meat prices for it by the pound. Second, and I want you to hear this, you cannot see that meat. The sauce covers the color. It covers the smell. Ask anybody who's worked behind a meat counter what tends to end up in the marinated trays. It's very often the meat that was running out of time to sell plain. The marinade isn't a flavor. It's a costume. Making your own takes 2 minutes. Oil. Something sour like vinegar or lemon. Something salty like soy sauce. A spoonful of sugar or honey. Whatever seasoning you like. Shake it in a bag with plain meat you inspected with your own eyes and let the fridge do the work while you go about your day. Better flavor, cheaper meat, and you know exactly what you bought. Fresh meat, dressed by you. Not tired meat, dressed by them. Now step back and look at what all 12 of these have in common, because it's not an accident. Every one of them is a plain, cheap thing with a little labor added cubing, whittling, grinding, stirring, and then priced like the labor was the hard part. It never is. The hard part was convincing you that you couldn't do it. That's what the packaging is for. That's what the word gourmet is for. A product you make yourself once costs them a sale every single week for the rest of your life, and there are a lot of weeks in a life. Nobody sat in a room and plotted against you. They just noticed that a busy, tired person will pay $3 not to think, and they built half the store on it. You're not busy and tired every day. Some days you've got 5 minutes. That's all most of these take. So here's your first step, and I want you to keep it small. Don't overhaul your whole cart that never sticks. Pick one thing off this list, just one. The popcorn maybe, or the yogurt, those are the easiest wins. Do it this week, see what it saves you, and let that carry you to the next one. And tell me in the comments which of these are you still buying, and which one did I miss? Because every time I make one of these lists, somebody down in the comments teaches me a trick I've never heard, and half the time it ends up in the next video. I read them all. Next time, I'm doing the opposite list, the store-bought things that are actually worth every penny, where making it yourself costs more than it saves. Because being sensible cuts both ways, and there are a few things I'll happily hand over my money for. I'll see you then.